Hey everyone, welcome to the Curious Girl Diaries podcast. I'm Layla London, aka the Curious Girl. Now, just to let you know, this podcast is not suitable for work. It's also not suitable for anybody under 18. But the rest of you consenting adults, let's get ready to talk about my sex life, sex in general, and everything in between in explicit, raunchy, fun detail. All right, here we go.
Well, I want it my way. I want to be the star of the show. Just the first time, at least. Come on. This is my fantasy, people. I love the idea of two guys on me. My primary guy watching me just get the shit fucked out of me by someone else. That's hot. He can't touch. He can check off. He can watch. Hello, everyone. All right, I'm back, and I just realized something kind of annoying. Well, thanks to you guys for alerting me to this. I was in a hurry, and I posted a new episode, and it's called Meet Mr. Big, to my podcast series, and I forgot to attach the audio. Duh. Okay, that's a podcaster fail right there. I know what happened. And thank you guys, by the way, for everybody. I started getting all these messages and I'm like, what? Anyway, thank you. Because who knows how long that would have gone on. That's embarrassing. I don't like to post things and listen to them. I just post them and then I'm like, okay, I got to leave that behind in the past. But I forgot to post the audio. So I remember as I was doing it, I was going really quickly and attaching the picture, the featured image to use with that, and then selecting that. And then, anyway, just kind of multitasking too fast, not paying attention well enough. And I just missed the fact that I had that the audio, I didn't wait long enough, I guess. Anyway, at any rate, it has been corrected. So if you did not hear the podcast, Meet Mr. Big, please go back and listen to that. I think you'll enjoy it. It's a bit of a little secret confession on my part, and I think you guys will enjoy the reveal. Now, on to today's topic, which is what's left on my bucket list. Now, what's left on the bucket list? I have done in 2 years, I've done a decent job at crossing off a lot of stuff. And that's pretty cool. But what's left are the any kind of a threesome. So the male, female, and the female, male. Now, as you know, if you listen to Meet Mr. Big, there's an alternative. Like, he's happy to do that for me. And you know what I like about the way that he said it? It was all about me. It was all about, well, he just said, I would love to see you have that. And, and you should have that. Oh, see, that's perfect. That's what I want to hear. Because, look, there's all different kinds of ways you can approach this, but not knowing whether or not what my response, I guess, is going to be to those encounters, it would be nice if I at least got to have them played out my way and it was about me. And I'm sure if you, as the listeners will agree, I have said on more than one occasion that I'm not sure about who to do those with, because I want it my way. I want to be the star of the show. just the first time at least. Come on. This is my fantasy, people. I want it to be, sexy and erotic, but but from a selfish point of view, and I don't deny it, I want all that attention on me. And then after that, it can be about someone else. It can be about all the attentions on them, especially if if it's the guy and two girls, but for the first go round to sort of ease me into it, baby step me. Come on, baby step me, guys. I want it to be exciting and just, I guess, like a mind blowing, split the sheets kind of like I'm climbing the walls with ecstasy kind of experience. I don't know if that's possible. Maybe I'm being unrealistic about that, but that's what I'm shooting for. And, I don't know why I can't have it the way I want it. I mean, pretty much that's how I roll. So I think for the first time out, that's what I'm looking for. And then, after that, I'm happy to completely have it not be about me. You know what's interesting? Going back to let's start with these 3 ways. Let's dive into that subject. So let's start with the female male. Every time I get a threesome picture where there's 2 women and a guy, either I'm asked, which one are you? Or B, the person that I'll send it to or that sends it to me, I'll say, well, which one am I? I'll ask them that question. They've sent it to me. Well, which one am I? And it's interesting because nobody's ever had the answer for me. I know in my first encounter where there's 2 women who I am. Like I said, I'm the star of the show. I want all attention on me. But I've also fantasized and seen myself being in more of the backseat role, I guess. And that would have to be round 2. That would have to be, getting deeper into it. I think what my problem is when there's 2 women in the room is I just don't see myself submissive to a woman, and any woman. I can't do it. I could act it out, but in the light of day, no. There's just one top dog, and that's me. So having to do that, if I'm sort of taking more of a backseat role, it's more of me. The reason I'm doing that still is selfish and self-centered because I'm wanting to watch and see and have that experience for my partner and see what their reaction is. And I'm probably still directing her, but I may not be the supporting role, As an example, imagine, if you will, there's a man and he's having his cock sucked, and there's a woman maybe sitting very close to them who's touching herself. Who am I in that one? Well, I could be the one who's sitting very close to them watching all this happening while I'm touching myself. But I'm really still directing what's going on. That's fine. I can sit back in the director role and watch everything happen to him and just watch his reaction and watch him watching me while he's doing whatever he's doing to her, whether she's sucking his cock, whether he's fucking her. And I just get to take it all in. I'm still touching myself and I'm still getting off. But it really just depends on, on on who I'm with. It's interesting because I think that would be different with, I know, I mean, I think about the people I could do this with. I could do it with BE. If I imagine it with BE, if I've imagined it with D, I've imagined it with Cowboy N, and now Mr. Big. I don't know if we're calling him Mr. Big or Mr. Vanilla or Vanilla. Haven't quite decided on what his official nickname is, but those of you that have been listening, you know to whom I'm referring. It's different. It's different with each guy. And then I've also had, as you know, as I've mentioned before, let's jump now into the male, female. I love the idea of two guys on me. I have not been shy about saying that. I mean, to be totally just filled and have all that attention on you. I don't know. I mean, in my mind, it doesn't get any better than that. And what the only tipping point on that is to be, if you're with somebody like, that really cares about you and that wants to see you have that experience because they care about you, like you getting off and having all that pleasure turns them on and makes them feel good. There's two guys that would fit that mold, and that's BE and Mr. Big. I don't see that so you can't really I can't really do that scenario with Cowboy N because he would be there's the secondary dynamic of that male, female that I also fantasize about. And that's more of where you have a guy, maybe like Clark, or, I don't know, maybe even Mr. Big would want to see another guy just fuck the shit out of me. Just somebody that's just being super dominant. So that's, that's kind of the two ways both of those scenarios can go when you're doing it. For me, in my book, when you're doing a three-way. However, regardless, the first time out of the gate, like I said, in either one of those, regardless of whether you got two dicks or two vaginas, I have to be the center of attention the first time out. I'm sorry, but that I won't do it unless that's the way I can have it for the very first time. And I want a woman to go down on me. I do. I want to know what that's all about. I'm so excited to experience, being fucked while a woman is sucking my clit and licking my clit. It just drives me crazy thinking about it. It's so goddamn hot. I mean, seriously. I don't know. I mean, something about, and maybe she's, because I don't know anything about, that's just going to sound strange to say. I don't know anything about women in a one-on-one sexual encounter, obviously, because I've never been with a woman. And I know I'm not bisexual, and I know I'm not gay or any of that. I just think women are beautiful. Their bodies are beautiful. And they're soft, and I want to experience that. I just want to experience that. I'd even do a woman one-on-one. And that's kind of still on my bucket list. Yeah. I'll throw that out there. I mean, I just kind of added that on the fly, but you know what? I would do that. I see these, I'll see a picture of a woman penetrating another woman with a strap on. I think that's hot. Totally. I don't want to do it. I don't want to put a strap on because, quite frankly, I just feel like I'd be uncoordinated at it. And what if I was a lousy lay? I cannot live that down. My ego can't take it. But yeah, I mean, I really, really, I would love for a woman to fuck me with a strap on. And then a guy fucking me at the same time too. I mean, this is just, oh, yes. This is part of my whole, like, put all that attention on me, 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 me. Oh my God, it would be so wonderful. It would, oh, and then there's 4 sets of hands. No, 4, well, 2 sets, right? 4 total hands touching you and the kissing and, oh, yeah. I mean, what's not to love about that? It just, and now I totally want to touch her boobs. I mean, I'd want to, yeah, I'd want to touch her boobs. I'd want to kiss her, of course, and touch her boobs, but I do not want to go down on her. As right now, for the first time, I don't. Now, get me excited, wet my whistle, let me have a good first experience, and I'll bet you dollars to donuts, I would go down on a woman maybe in my second go round. I might consider it. Again, if I'm more of the kind of the sub, where I bring another woman in and she's really more about being the primary for the guy that I'm with, and we're just kind of servicing him, and then I get to take even more of a backseat to all that. Then I could do the reverse, where I could be, sucking her clit and licking his cock while he's fucking her. And I mean, I could get excited about that now. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say as I say it, that doesn't sound really hot. But again, I think it's about just the right person. And I think the guy in either one of these scenarios, whether I'm the subservient female or the dominant female among the 2 females in the female male encounter, the guy still needs to know that he's really still the accessory. He's there, but that I'm acquiescing and doing all this for me, and that, he can't get overboard with it. I don't know. So again, that's why I just think it's got to be the right guy, who you're doing this with. Because my biggest fear, and the last thing I want, is, somebody not to be in charge. And if it's not me that's in charge, the other person knowing what the ground rules are and observing those ground rules. I just worry about, having some lackluster experience, which I'm trying to avoid. If I'm going to do that, I don't think moving forward threesomes will be a big part of my life, but I definitely want to scratch it off my list. And therefore, I want to make it as enjoyable as possible. Just kind of set some guidelines, and then everybody can freewheel it. That's fine. But, you kind of got to know in the cast of characters, who's doing what and what the rules are and what the dynamic is. So, yes, I think finally in year 3, because I know I've been talking about it for 2 years and everyone's probably sick of that. Like, Jesus Christ, woman, just do it. But I think I'm going to. I think I'm finally getting the guts. And I have, like I said, I just did not expect Mr. Big to jump in on this as an option. And I think, and now that I'm thinking about it, I keep calling him Mr. Big, Mr. Big. I think that's probably a better name than Vanilla. I don't want to call him Vanilla. Yeah, he's Vanilla, but I think there's a kinkster in there. And I think I can foster and bring that out as well. An interesting kind of sidebar about that is I think I need to educate him on what a dominant is because he really is a dominant. He just doesn't know it. It's all the things he does. I mean, this guy looks out for me, like doesn't want me, literally doesn't want me driving myself places because, he's like, I will send a driver for you. I will do it's just, how are you? How's your morning? How's your night? I mean, he literally takes care of me, like from morning till even when I'm sleeping. And I guess because, he's not like, hey, I'm this dominant guy. But he is. It's funny. He doesn't realize it. And I was talking to somebody else about how somebody else saw that they were dominant and sort of brought that out in them. And I'm almost like, I need to point these things out to him. I need to say, don't pay attention to that bullshit, shit you're seeing on the internet where it's some guy slapping some girl around. I mean, hey, to each his own. I can get down with that too. I can get down with the rough stuff, with the guy being physically, asserting his dominance. There's different ways to channel it. It can be by, physical. It can be a little bit, I guess, as the vanilla world might want to call it, disrespectful. As long as the two parties agree, it isn't. It's just in exchange for what everybody needs to get out of it, and that's, as long as it's consensual, that's fine. I just think that there's, I don't know, there's exciting revelations here coming. But okay, back to I just got off on a sidebar. That's a whole nother podcast to do. But now let's get back to the threesomes. Now, so the male, female. Now, again, there's options for that. And I like that. I like the fact that I think I've got more options on the table, but with somebody that I really have a deep, love for. And so being able to have that with him kind of makes it, definitely makes it more enticing and exciting. And that option's been there. I just didn't know it. I didn't know it. So now I do. And I'm pretty happy about that. So anyway, I think that, like I said, there's different ways to go with that, with the male, female. My first option is just, again, like just all that attention on me. The guys don't have to do anything to each other. And that's fine. Now the kind of just, hey, put all that attention on me. I'm great with it. The secondary interest I have in that would be for a guy that's maybe a little more, is willing to be a little more submissive, I guess, in that role. And that could be someone that, I want another guy to eat another guy's cum out of me. I mean, when BE did that, when he ate his own cum out of me, it was impromptu. I wasn't expecting it. I know he wasn't expecting it either. It just happened. He did it. Oh my God, it was so hot. to have him come inside me and then have me sit on his face while he licked my pussy, sucked my clit, and basically ate himself outside, out of me. God, that was fucking hot. I mean, ugh. Who knew? I mean, I know, it's like, I never thought, it's all these things that may, and kind of when you hear them, because I'm still kind of got my vanilla side where first I go, ew, like that just doesn't, ew. But when it's happening to you and it's done, it's fucking hot. God, it's great. And so for me, I do have this. I have had this, still kind of on my, still on the bucket list, and it's I guess a sub fantasy of, of the male female is to have a guy that's basically on cleanup duty, where I'm getting fucked, and then this guy cleans me up, gives me a shower, takes care of me, or is helping me get ready for my date with another guy. And he knows I'm going to go get fucked, and I send him pictures or videos. I mean, that's hot. It's hot. I love it. And there's some guys that are totally into that and that need that. And, Clark is one of those guys. And I think he knows that. He knows that about himself. And I love it. I mean, it's wonderful that, hey, I'm not, whatever floats your boat, and if it works between you and someone else, and I think people should just be less judgy and, and, and be more open-minded. They don't have to do it, but just know that there's so much out there, and there's so much out there. God, that's what this road trip has really taught me. That's what I'm just scratching the surface, and that's why this year I really want to interview more people, because over this time frame, I have tracked, people that this is their certain thing, or that's their certain, whatever it is. It's the female, she's a female dom, that's her thing. And then, meeting Clark and getting to know him. And at first he's like, oh, I'm a dominant guy. But then the more we get to know each other, it's like, he's not. And that's fine. Because he's come to grips, or not grips. That's not the right word. He just realized really who he is, kind of, while at the same time, while I was discovering all these things about myself too. It's just, that's so great, to be able to share in experiencing someone and seeing that growth and that change, and as they're developing what, and getting comfortable with what really excites them, and for them to just acknowledge really for the first time, like, hey, I need this. This is what I need. So I want to for me, it plays into my dominant side. If I can have a guy that's being submissive to me, while I'm caring for him and nurturing him and giving him what he needs, while I get what I need. It's perfect. It's a wonderful, wonderful exchange. So on a secondary level with the male female threesome, I want that. I want, and certainly I know enough dominant guys that would help me out with that while I'm while I have a guy that's more submissive, you know, and that's what's running in the background. So it's just hot. I mean, I wouldn't even like, so to me, I would love, and I don't know that it's weird. I don't know. Like, I know Clark would like another guy to suck his dick. I could tell another guy to suck his dick. I don't think he'd want to suck another guy's dick. I don't know. Maybe he would. Maybe if I said suck his dick, you're gonna suck his dick, that he would. Because that's hot too. A guy pulling his dick out of me and making another guy suck his dick. Uh, Again, to me, it's all good. It's like I get excited thinking about that. I could totally be down with that. Um, but that's that's when you're getting into, I think most of the guys that I know, either A, their ground rules for male, male, female would be no touching of the other guy at all, or he could do something to me, but I'm not doing anything to him. So again, I got to kind of keep working on that. My little, uh, my little sub story, my background stories that I'm creating in my head for what I'd like to do, round 2 or 3 if I have, um, you know, another dude. But I think I think 2 guys, it's first of all, A, all the attention on me. B, uh, like I said, I wouldn't mind just my primary guy watching me just get the shit fucked out of me by someone else. That's hot. He can't touch. He can jack off. He can watch. Um, but he's gonna watch some guy just tear me the fuck up and love it and coming all over another guy's cock and watching me just be satisfied and taken and oh yeah, turn into a mindless, quivering, hot mess right in front of his eyes. That is hot. And then the last version of that is where, the guy's interactive but submissive. The other guy's interactive but submissive. So he's going to eat another guy's cum out of me. He's going to have to clean me off. He's going to have to get me ready for my next date. All this stuff, and I'll be happy to fill him in on all the details. He can either be there or he can listen by phone or get videos and pictures. Yeah. That's a lot of ground to cover. I could spend a whole year on that right there. Everything I just talked about with the female, female, male and the male, male, female. So the last thing that's really still, I really want to do is the rape. It's the rape scene. I want that to happen. That has expanded a little bit in my mind. So, I mean, it's really quite elaborate. And first of all, again, I always feel like every time I use that word, rape, that's a heavy word. I want to just reemphasize and say, A, it's a fantasy. B, it's consensual non-consent. Okay. So everybody involved, the 2 people involved have a very clear and certain understanding about what's going to play out and how it's going to go. And there is definitely, a safe word involved. But I just feel like it's this primal, deep, desire that I have. And for someone to just really, really take me and, and against my will. I want to fight. I want to struggle. I want their strength overpowering mine. I would love to be like really physically abducted, like taken away to an isolated area where I am somebody's sex slave for as long as we could actually pull it off. And where I think in my head, like the big fantasy I have is I'm just taken to this isolated location and where this person can just turn me loose and I have no cell phone reception. I just have to do whatever it is they want. And it's kind of like earning in my head. I'm like, I'm having to earn privileges. And of course, at first I'm pissed. I'm irritated. I am not going to be cooperative. But if I'm cold and I don't have a blanket, if I don't have anywhere to sleep, but next to you and with no clothes on and I don't like you and I'm irritated, it's really kind of this thing where, slowly this person's like, this is how it's going to be. And over time, you're going to like it. And I'm resisting that. And of course they can just grab me and overpower me anytime they want. And they do. But I'm also having to, I have no say in anything anymore. And because that would drive me crazy. Like if you strip away all of my control and power and all the things that I cling to and love so much and just take me down to ground zero and leave me with only my, my cleverness to sort of work my way out of this problem. But while I'm doing that, I am going to start to like it. And I'm going to start to like that person. So it's kind of like a Stockholm syndrome type of thing. Anyway, I know that's quite detailed, but that's just how I see it. I really see it as this person being calm, cool, more way in control of me while I'm losing my shit and getting pissed and irritated and throwing things at their head. They're like, hey, doesn't matter to me, lady. We got all the time in the world for you to calm down, get yourself straight. And in the meantime, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want anyway. So that's kind of my rape/kidnap fantasy. Yeah, I don't, why is that hot to me? I don't know, but God damn it, it is. I don't know that I'd be able to be missing for a week, but yeah, if I could do that for a week, whew, I'd love it. I'd totally, totally love it. And oh yeah, that to me is hot. So that's what's left on my bucket list. It's really the threesome fantasies with either two guys and me or myself, another female and a guy. And then my rape fantasy. I think those are the only things really on my bucket list that I didn't accomplish. But I did take my sweet time about all that. Crossing the things off. But I feel like, you know what? In 2 years, hey, I made some headway. I did some things. Feel good about it. So there you go. All right. Well, thanks for listening and stay tuned because there's more to come. All right. Have a great day. Bye.
Thanks so much for listening. And if you like what you hear, refer me to a friend. And make sure you're following me on social media. Also, go to the website, thecuriousgirldiaries.com, and join my subscribers-only list for access to exclusive content. And as usual, questions or comments, you can always email me at curiousgirl@thecuriousgirldiaries.com.